Governor Gordon has declined a debate on his carbon negative goals for the state. A winter storm is inviting itself for Thanksgiving. And when it comes to record wind gusts in the state, the town of Clark blows everyone else away. We'll take a look at these stories and more today from Wyoming's largest news organization. I'm Wendy Corr for Cowboy State Daily. Well, those who wanted Governor Mark Gordon to engage in a good old-fashioned wrangling of words about his carbon-negative goals for Wyoming, and if climate change is real, well, they'll be disappointed. After initially saying he was open and willing to debate the topics with scientists from the CO2 Coalition, a group that advocates that carbon dioxide doesn't significantly lead to warming temperatures, Cowboy State Daily's Leah Wolfson reports that Gordon on Monday formally declined.
Gordon said that he is an all-the-above energy platform as far as supporting all kinds of energy in Wyoming, and he believes that Wyoming should have a diverse economy for the future to protect itself against some of the infrastructure that he says is just kind of going in the opposite direction that some of these legislators want and maybe see their reality being.
Proposed federal lead ammunition bans and hunting access rules pending with U.S. Congress could have repercussions for Wyoming. For now, an effort to defund the Biden administration's push to ban lead ammunition on some federal lands in the eastern U.S. has stalled, but Outdoors reporter Mark Hines said it could be revived during upcoming congressional budget sessions early next year.
Some gun rights advocates here in Wyoming, they are concerned that they're going to use that as a template to make it a ban on federal lands all over the country.
A measure to defund the lead ammunition ban was recently passed by the U.S. House of Representatives but stalled in the Senate. That means it will likely be taken up again during the upcoming congressional budget session in January or February. Well, a winter storm is inviting itself to Thanksgiving dinner across the region, and Wyoming is expected to get the worst of it. The Cowboy State's forecast for the four-day Thanksgiving weekend includes several inches of snow, strong winds, and significantly colder temperatures. That's according to Cowboy State Daily meteorologist Don Day.
The storm is definitely going to be affecting northern Wyoming first. This will be happening overnight Wednesday into early Thursday. And then throughout the day, the snow is going to continue to work its way south into the central parts of the state by late morning and early afternoon, and then the southern parts of the state by late Thursday afternoon and evening.
Day says places like Sheridan, Buffalo, and KC to Casper and Lusk and Lander are likely to see 6 or more inches of snow. He added that this weather pattern will impact the entire Intermountain West. I'll be back with more news right after this.
No one should go hungry on Thanksgiving, and yet hundreds of men, women, and children from our community are homeless and hurting this holiday season. Yet you can provide hope. Just $2.58 provides a hot meal and life-changing services at the Wyoming Rescue Mission, like safe, welcoming shelter, support, and long-term recovery to help them get back on their feet. Learn more and give online at wyomission.org. That's wyomission.org.
A Cody man suspected of involvement in his girlfriend's bloody disappearance pleaded not guilty Tuesday in Casper, but to a different felony. Cowboy State Daily's Claire McFarland reports that 26-year-old Adam Aviles Jr. appeared in the U.S. District Court for Wyoming in Casper to answer a charge of being a felon in possession of a firearm.
You can't charge somebody for having blood and a bullet hole in their vehicle, but you can charge them for having ammunition in their vehicle if they are a felon. And since Aviles has been convicted of felony heroin possession in the past, federal prosecutors are now alleging that he was a felon in possession of ammunition.
Law enforcement agents discovered bloody clothes and a bullet hole in Aviles Jr.'s vehicle around 4 weeks after his on-and-off girlfriend, Katie Ferguson, vanished while traveling home from Alabama to Cody with him and their 2 young daughters. And when any other Wyoming community has wind gusts of 80 miles an hour, it's a noteworthy event. But that's an average day in Clark, which regularly records gusts over 100 miles an hour. The tiny community near the Montana border was built in an area where the terrain lines up with the prevailing winds. Cowboy State Daily's Andrew Rossi reports that this is why last year winds hit 128 miles an hour, which is nearly a Class 4 hurricane.
If you put your thumb over the end of a hose, the water pressure increases and it spurts out, and Clark is to face on the end of that hose, peering into it and wondering why it's getting so wet and so violently wet.
Despite the regular windstorms, more than 300 people call the unincorporated area of Park County home, which means they're willing to endure everything the windswept plains can throw at them. And that's today's news. Get your free digital subscription to Wyoming's only statewide newspaper by hitting the subscribe button on CowboyStateDaily.com. I'm Wendy Corr for Cowboy State Daily.